Salvete, on the MikePlayShow channel, with you MikeOrion. Here comes the walkthrough and analysis of the plot of Frostpunk 2. I'll be honest, I was waiting for this game. And today we will find out whether my expectations were met or not. Enjoy watching. Press the story button, choose the difficulty level and start our game. Honestly, I played the game before and lost 3 times in a row. I felt like this dog in the video. Then I figured it out and there were no defeats. The first stage is the prologue, Nomads. Backstory. Some people began to live near generators, and others became nomads. We will play for nomads. The game begins. The captain is old. We played for him in the last part. Many years have passed. As a result, the captain dies. The cause of death is unknown. The video ends and the prologue, Nomads, begins. In this part of the game, we will be allowed to play for nomads who found the old dreadnought. They decide to launch it to warm up. Our first goal is to get oil to keep warm. Residents build an oil extraction district and improve the generator. Oil becomes a new source of energy in this game. Our new goal is to accumulate food to survive the storm. The townspeople have accumulated a number of resources and districts begin to expand. A district with seals was discovered. Their meat will feed the city for a long time. Having accumulated food, we wait for the storm. The nomads survive, as they were able to accumulate enough food. The prologue ends here and chapter 1 begins. We are pompously shown our beloved New London, which has transformed over time. The population has become much larger. New London faces new problems. The old captain has died, and the coal sources are exhausted. We become a temporary captain. To become a permanent leader, we need to solve the problem of a lack of coal and build a council. When the captain has completed these tasks, the council elects him captain of the city. Factions and a council have appeared in the game, without which it will be impossible to pass a single law. But everything is fixed when we open the law on emergency measures, allowing us to persuade all doubters to our side. The number of citizens has also changed. If in the previous part we were the ruler of the village, now we are the captain of a real city. Also, many laws are now opened due to technologies. If you want to introduce a law on children and youth, open the technology. Also, each technology will be approved or condemned by factions. We can still discuss the new mechanics for a long time, but let's move on to the plot. After the generator is activated, we get an event. Now our children are warm, and we can bless the child. The city residents understand that they cannot rely on coal. The new goal is to explore new lands. Researchers find an old dreadnought that runs on oil. The new goal is to populate this location and extract oil and remake the generator so that it can run on oil. Nomads from the prologue survived in this old dreadnought. Researchers find the graves of these people. They had a cult of oil. This will affect the plot in the future. And we have a choice to leave the graves or remove the bodies to get more oil. The captain chooses the latter. From this moment on, interesting gameplay begins. It is necessary to control 2 settlements at the same time, and trade appears between them. You can send some resources to another settlement. Having built oil production areas in the old dreadnought settlement, having set up a surplus of 75 units of oil and having improved the generator, the captain completes the tasks set before him. After that, a choice falls, to adapt to the cold or to defeat it. Simply put, whose point of view the captain needs to choose. the evolutionists or the guardians of the faith. The captain decided to choose the side of the guardians of the faith and defeat the cold. It is necessary to explain their ideas a little. The evolutionists are a faction that wants to change human nature and with the help of this adapt to the cold. The guardians of the faith are a faction of conservatives who do not want to change human nature, but to develop technology and improve the generator. The captain improved relations with the guardians of the faith, and they staged a procession in one of the areas, which allows you to get bonuses. A new event falls on those same nomads. They ask for help. The captain agrees to share oil with them before the storm. The next goal is to survive the storm. The city begins to store oil, since during the storm much more oil will be needed. The oil-producing areas in the old dreadnought are pumped up. The guardians of the faith make a cult of oil and conduct black baptism, which gives more bonuses. They were inspired by the cult of nomads who buried their people in oil. Before the storm, nomads come and take oil from us and thank the captain. The storm comes, but the city survives it and copes with the problems. The captain has finally worsened relations with the evolutionists and they organized a riot. There are several suppression mechanics. Radical reprisal. Negotiate with them and more careful suppression of the riot. After the brutal suppression of the riot and the storm, the townspeople understand that they need to improve the generator. But for this they need steam cores, which are in Winterhome. Having found Winterhome, the captain faces the choice of colonizing the city or destroying it. The captain chooses the second option to blow up Winterhome to get more steam cores. The guardians of the faith offer to exile all the evolutionists to Winterhome. The captain agrees. Now there will be no more strikes in New London. Now it is necessary to manage 3 settlements at the same time. The captain did not pay attention to the dying inhabitants of Winterhome. The main goal was to get steam cores. The evolutionists were angry because of the bad treatment and the destruction of Winterhome. They began to sabotage Winterhome. To pacify them, watchtowers were built. The evolutionists began to write radical slogans on the walls. Death to the guardians of the faith. Having obtained the required number of steam cores, the captain faces a choice to continue mining or to spare the people and return them home. The resources were necessary, so the mining continued. Having pumped up and studied the generator, the last 5th chapter begins, dedicated to the Civil War. A treacherous murder of one of the guardians of the faith supporters occurs in the council. The captain has 3 choices: to expel the evolutionists, find a compromise, or force them to order. The captain decides to expel them to another settlement, since strife will be inevitable. The evolutionists are not happy with this decision, and they organize a riot in several areas of the city. But the guards brutally suppress the entire uprising and the riot stops. The development of a new settlement begins on the site of the old construction site. New colonists are sent there. Many evolutionists fear that they are being sent to certain death. Therefore, the captain has to establish production in the city and build a windbreak for the city. When all the important needs of the new colony are met, the evolutionists finally leave New London. The city survived and stood firm. During the Civil War, 110 passers-by died, and Winterhome was destroyed. Are we really freer apart? The game ends with this phrase. I liked the game, but I thought there would be many more new mechanics. I would not say that my expectations were not met. But the game has not changed in terms of the plot. Again a storm. Again the colonization of settlements and the usurpation of power. Again, something left unsaid at the end, in order to make a part 3. I thought I would finally get an answer to the question of why the world is freezing. In the last part, they slightly hinted that the sun is fading. If earlier in the last part you watched each person, or tried, then due to the fact that there are a lot of people, they become just expendable material. The game is quite optimized. The graphics are great. What special mechanics did I like? This is the ability to simultaneously control 3 cities in real time. Also the emergence of factions between which you need to lobby to pass a law. The introduction of the council system and different role-playing scenarios in the game, that is. You can choose to destroy Winterhome or not, take the side of the Guardians of the Faith or the Evolutionists. Reworked mechanics of districts, now it is not just a building, but a whole district, occupying 6 cells. And also in this district you can place buildings. At first I thought that I would not like the concept with honeycombs, but I changed my mind. It is much more interesting to cut through the ice at the beginning and only then build something on it. But the game is good, but it does not cause strong emotions, like the first part. I recommend the game. I hope this video was useful to you. Subscribe, like, good luck to everyone and bye.